An entrepreneur? You ever heard that term?
I heard of it, but I didn't forget what it means.
An entrepreneur is somebody who makes a company.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I don't know what that word means. I mean, it says, I think it means take from the low and to make it high, right? So basically, to sell a lot, to sell a lot of something, anything, whether it be chairs, right, or
Talking about all the people on Shark Tank?
correct. Those are entrepreneurs, right? And when I talk to schools, I tell them that this class is the Shark Tank for engineers. So entrepreneurs like make companies, like how, and then they make jobs for people, and they say that if a community, in a community, like this is a community, right? If 60% of the people that live in the community don't own the businesses in the community, that's that's technically a ghetto. No matter what color you are in, no matter what color you are, if you live in a community, and if the people that live in that community don't own the businesses, the corner stores, that's what makes it ghetto, because all of the money that you're spending is going to people and it's going outside of your community, right? So if you don't have at least 60% of the people in your community that own all these businesses, your community is in big trouble. So I am an entrepreneur, and I think what makes me a little different.
Yeah.
Don't be.
It's okay.
I'm
Well,
listening.
you listening? I know you're listening. Are you go to this school?
Yeah.
Okay. So what makes me a little different is that I'm an engineer. Now, do you know what makes more money than anything else on earth? It's what's got him doing what he's doing.
Yeah, they said, they said computers do it because the computers is invented is more money.
Yeah.
Google, Yahoo company.
Exactly. Wow. See,
Bill
oh,
Gates.
there you go. You know what those things are called?
Yeah.
Those things are called. Hey, how are you? Those things are called. They're called something called a disruptive innovation, right? And don't worry, you never heard that before, but examples of a disruptive innovation are like Uber and Amazon and TikTok and even Instagram and TikTok are called disruptors, right? They make more money than anything else in the world. They make. Do you know why they call them disruptors? Do you know why?
Because people be on that phone 24/7 all the time.
Because guess what they do? They destroy a whole industry. Like, so they call them disruptors because they're like atomic bombs. They're seriously. I'm not being theatrical. They'll destroy an entire industry, right? Rebuild a whole new one in its place, and the creator of the disruptor becomes a billionaire and even a trillionaire in the process.
Like Bill Gates.
Like Bill Gates, like Amazon, right? Amazon is disrupting all of the brick and mortar. Brick and mortar means like when you go to a store and you buy stuff. Amazon disrupted that. Now they say that half of the malls in America are going to close because people don't have to go to the mall anymore. You go on your phone, it just comes right. So in schools, right, they say don't be disruptive. You're a disruptive force, right? People are saying people could look at him and say right now he's being disruptive, right? But in the real world, that's exactly what you want to be. You want to break stuff, right? So I didn't know this. Guess who is the person, the people that are hired to make these disruptors? The people that make these disruptors are engineers. Engineers, engineers, engineers make them. Engineers make and they only and this notion of a disruptive innovation is so dangerous that they only teach it to the wealthy white kids that go to Ivy League schools. The last thing the country needs to know is for the people in this community to know what disruptive innovations are and moreover how to make them. That's very dangerous, right? So I went to this school called Northeastern. I didn't know. They sent me some letter, right? They said I went to school with Wendy Williams a long time ago. You know who she is? You know who Wendy Williams is? Right? I went to school with her, right? I studied engineering. The only reason I studied engineering was because one day I was being a little badass, excuse my language, and I failed 7 subjects, right, in junior high school.
Wow.
My mother is from Jamaica, so she took out her biggest belt and just lit me up, right? Right? Lit me up, right? So I knew in Jamaica that everybody wants to be a doctor or an engineer. So my mother's outside crying in the garden. So I'm like, Mom, trying to make her feel better, even though I got welts all over my body, right? Trying to make her feel better. I said, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to be an engineer. And she and my father surrounded me. and they held me to it. And they forced me to be an engineer, right? But when I graduated, I wanted to be like a James Bond, like a business character, right? So this is what I wanted to do. And, I took a job as a sales engineer. Not knowing, only reason I took the job because I looked in the newspaper and I saw that the highest paying jobs weren't for the engineers. They were for the salespeople. So I was like, screw engineering, I want to be a salesman, I want to make $200,000 a year, right? So I got a job as a sales engineer selling this kind of technology to companies. And they would send me down to Condé Nast, to CVS, and they would have me come in as the nerd, as the nerdy guy. They would have me come down as the nerd, and the people, they would introduce me to the CEO of CVS, right? And they'd say, you don't have to, if you don't trust me, Ben Teller is an engineer, he's a nerd, he'll tell you the truth. And because I was the nerdy engineer, they would buy the product from me, right? And my company would pay me for that. I got so good at this, I won a trip to a place called Monaco. You ever heard of Monaco? Monte Carlo is like a place over in the south of France. Whenever you see people like those racetracks in Europe, right?
Yeah.
You see that's Monaco. And that's where the wealthiest people in the world live and flaunt the fact that they've stolen everything from us.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive, right? But so, and they gave me this ring. They gave me this ring, and that's why I wear this ring, to remember that my big trip, right? So what I learned, what I found out, and there's an audio book that goes along with this. I'm going to give you guys the audio books you can listen to so you can learn this, right? In the book, I give you the instructions of how to make a disruptive innovation. Okay? So I'm telling you this because the first rule of sales is, and I'm trying to sell myself to you right now, unless people buy you and trust you, they'll never buy anything that you're trying to sell. So the first thing I have to sell you good folks on is me. And that's why I'm telling you this story. All right? So I'm running around in all these clubs trying to figure out how all these rappers and athletes are making so much money. And they told me what disruptive innovations were. Northeastern never mentioned it to me. Northeastern kept it a secret even from me. Even though engineers make them. So when I found this out, I was furious. I was so angry. I felt like Northeastern had shortchanged me that I vowed revenge. And I vowed to write this down in a book and tell everybody. Tell everybody what they don't want you to know. You understand what this is about, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the first step in making your own disruptor. Remember, let me ask you a question. Do you know what profession makes more money than everybody else? The lawyers, the doctors. What profession makes the most money in the entire world? Who is it? Is it the doctor? Is it the cop? Who would you think? What do you think? Yeah, teacher. What would you think?
And I'm just missing a parent coordinator.
Okay,
That's
all right.
what you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
I think the highest paid would be doctors and lawyers.
No, that's a good guess, but I was shocked. No. What do you think? Aviation? Like plane people? No. That's a good guess. What do you think, Champ? What do you think, Champ? Rocky Marciano, you. What do you think? Who makes the most money? You don't like money? The businessmen? What do you think? You folks back here, what do you think? Who makes the most money out of everybody else on earth? The president? No. That's a good guess.
I would think it would be the programs that initially invent all this stuff.
That's a very good guess. That's the best guess I've actually, in the 15 years I've been doing it, that's the best guess I've ever heard. Congratulations to you. The answer is salesman. Well, but okay, my bad. If that's what you meant, I stand corrected, and you're the first person to actually get the right answer. The salespeople, because even if I made an iPhone right now, what's it gonna do if I can't sell it, if I can't turn it into money, right? So the salespeople take this great products that everybody makes and gets other people to buy it. Now the people who are really, really good, making billions, they can make the product and they can sell it. So if you can make a product and sell it, you are your own company. You're the company. You're the company, right? And that's what I learned. And so there's some simple keys to selling anything that I want to show you. And if you learn this, it should make you pretty dangerous. And I'm not sensationalizing like this. Like if the wealthiest people in the world, right, knew that I was in here teaching you guys this, and if they believed that you guys would take this and actually take action on it, they would kill it. I'd be dead. And it sounds like I'm being overly dramatic, right? I'm not.
Why? Because they want to keep all their money they make?
Because CEOs of companies, guess what they hate the most? What do you think they hate the most?
Losing money.
Competition. They hate competition, right? Rappers battling Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they hate each other. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, they hate each other. Competitors, right? If I see somebody wearing the same shoes as me, I'm like, right? So that's why nobody wants you to learn how to do this. Because they don't want you taking all the companies and bringing it back to this neighborhood and taking all the jobs. All of a sudden now money isn't flowing into their pocket, flowing into your pocket. They're gonna hire somebody to come and put a bullet in you. Okay? So take this very serious, because these CEOs, they taught me this.
So basically, they got mob connection.
Well, all companies are like a gang. Now the gangs in our communities, they're looking for local power. They're looking for power in the street, selling drugs or whatever, right? These people, they're looking for global power. They want to sell computers in America, in Florida, in Japan, right? They want a global market.
But wait a minute. The European countries are also trying to sell their products as well.
That's right.
Especially Japan and China.
That's why America hates China. Because they're making more products and taking money out of our pocket. Nobody likes that. They'll say they're going to tell you guys that it's security and all this other stuff. No, it's competition. All right? That's what freed the slaves. Because the machine was invented and people were like, nobody's going to buy American machines because America was still enslaving black people, right? So Abraham Lincoln had to free the slaves so that he could sell his products all over the world. And so it's all about competition. It's all about sales. All right, the President of the United States, he's just a salesman. He's a cheerleader.
That's the question.
Yes, ma'am.
The programmers and the technician create this stuff, who owns the copyright to all of it?
They do.
They do what the company does.
The company does, but the copyright means nothing unless you can sell it. If you have a copyright on a new computer and nobody's buying it, what is your copyright worth?
Nothing.
On God's sake, you got to sell it. It's everybody can make something, but can you communicate its value to people so they're like, you know what? I'm gonna take $300 out of my pocket and give it to you for that, because before you talked to me, I didn't know I needed it. If you can do that, you're rich. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. I pray that you folks take this serious because, I'm sorry, this is real. See, best selling, sales.
Jay-Z, Kanye West.
That's right. It's all about sales. All right. Bear with me. I just want to. See, this guy, Robert Greene, he's my competitor. I hate his guts. Because if people buying his book, they're not buying mine. What do you mean? We're not friends, we're competitors.
Well, you gotta get out there more.
That's right, that's why I'm here. That's why I do all these videos. All right, so this is what money is made of. This is the holy grail of money.
So basically, those athletes that comes out of clothing line sneakers, they be in advertising, they're selling themselves to the public for them to buy their products.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
A lot of kids bug their parents to buy.
So glad you brought that up. So glad you brought that up. You're sharp. So, let me ask you a question. All right, let's just get to this first, and then let's go back to that, because that's very important what you just said, okay?
Okay.
But when we're born, do you remember when you were born? You remember when your mom pushed you out of your stomach? Does anybody here remember that? I remember chewing on the side of my crib when I was a little boy. That's as far back as my memory. I remember like on the child crib. I remember doing that. I remember doing that. I remember chewing my pink. I was in a pink crib, and I would shake it. I don't remember shaking it, but I remember like getting my teeth on the side of it. And I remember doing that, right? So, but when you're born, what happens when you come out? When you're in your mother's stomach, when a baby's in its mother's stomach, how does the baby feel? Suspended in air, warm, right? If the baby gets hungry, what happens?
It makes the mother eat.
Right, baby kicks, mother eats, right? Baby knows, right? The baby doesn't have to do a thing. The baby is suspended in midair for 9 months in a state of absolute comfort and bliss, right? As soon as the baby's born and the doctor, what does the baby do?
Right.
Why?
Because it's not in the same place anymore. It's out in the open.
What college did you go to? No, that's true. That's true. Because the baby is now in pain. It's like baby's like, hey, it's cold out here. You just slapped me on my behind. I was in my mother's womb. I was comfortable. Now you got me out here, right? What is going on? Right? It's traumatic, right? And what does the nurse do immediately?
Jason cleans them up.
Baby gets to, what do they say in the Bible? In waddling, they wrap the baby in what do they call it? In a blanket, right? Hand to them and put it on the mother's belly, right? And the baby does what? It puts something in the baby's mouth immediately. I remember when my daughter was born, it was like watching a National Geographic show. She as soon as she put her on her mother, she was like, I was like, whoa, she just did it. I was like, it works, right? I was stunned watching it. So why does the baby cry? We said because the baby's now in pain. Well, the reality is that from the time we're born until the time we die, the only thing we're doing is processing information and making choices to avoid pain. That's all we do. The human brain processes something like 80 billion bits of information per second. Every second, that's how much information the human brain is processing. And it's making choices. The human brain, we are hedonistic by nature. We avoid pain to acquire pleasure. That's what human beings do, right? Even though you think you're going to the mall, or you think you're buying a jacket, he thinks he's playing with his cell phone. What he's really doing is trying to avoid pain. And that pain, the human condition, comes in 4 forms. Only 4. Every product on earth is designed to cure these 4 pain points. Everything, including you. So whenever you hear the word value, what they're really talking about is this: fair market value, value add, valuations, all right? Value proposition. These are the things that salespeople use to convince you to take money out of your pocket and spend it on everything that you have on your body right now. And I want to explain what they are. There's only 4 of them, right? The first one is emotional pain. And this is the worst one. People can take all the others, but if you can get people emotional, they'll spend money quick. People can't take emotional pain. This one is, what do you think this one is? Physical pain. What's this one? Loss of energy. Energy. And that's what is this one? Losses of time. Right? Technology helps us with these 2. Technology helps us to do things in less time with less energy. Technology moves society forward. So if you can come up with an idea for a product that protects the world from these 4 things, they'll give you their money. They don't know that's what they're doing. They think they're buying a coat, or they think they're getting their nails done, or buying glasses to put on top of their head, or lips gloss, or whatever. But what they're really doing is trying to protect themselves from these 4 things. Sometimes they don't even know they're in pain. You have to tell them. Sometimes they're so used to being in pain that they're just living with it, and they don't think that anybody can fix it, so they just live with it. You have to show them, you're in pain right now. Look, and this product can cure it. You have to teach, you have to educate your customer. All right? And this is the sum total of the world economy. Now, who believes me and who doesn't? Who thinks I'm talking out the side of my wazoo? And if you do, tell me, please, because I'd like to prove it to you. Let's do a proof. Let's prove it.
Impulse buying, or eating a lot.
Food. What pain point does that cure? These are called pain points. If you start watching the Bloomberg channel and you hear people say, we're in pain, right? You ever hear people say, I don't want the labor pains, I just want the baby, right? Whenever you hear people say pain from now on, this is what they're talking about, all right? So when people are hungry, what do?
Eat.
What kind of pain is that? Physical. Is it not emotional?
Sometimes it's emotional.
Emotional eating, right? The physical part is just the food and the hunger pains. Where's the emotional part? The taste. Taste. That's right, the taste, right? So the more pain a product cures, the more money you can charge for it.
Oh, God.
Right? So if a product just cures one pain, you might be able to charge $5, $6, right? But if it can cure all of your pains, that's the more expensive the product is. A car, explain the value proposition of a car using this. And after this, we're going to teach you how to write a TV commercial. If you understand this, you can write a TV commercial. What do you think? You seem skeptical. Do you believe that coat? Why did you buy that coat? What do you think? What pain did you think it cures from? It cures the physical pain of you being cold, right? But it also cures the emotional pain of you wearing a jacket that may not be in style and people not wanting to talk to you. Why do you think I paid $110 for this stupid shirt? Why? Why do you think I paid that much money? You think I can get a shirt, the same shirt at Target? With that, why do you think I bought this stupid shirt?
Brand name.
And how is that protecting me from emotional pain? Because when I walk down the street in this shirt, people say, see this ridiculous little logo, and it's yes sir, no sir, he's wearing a polo shirt, let him in. All right, I don't have to talk. It saves me the energy of even talking. All of a sudden people start giving me stuff. All right, but if I put on my sweatshirt and walk around like that, call the police. Okay? Right? So it's saving me all of that pain. All right? The desks. What kind of pain is that curing? The seats that you're sitting in. What is the value of those seats? Is it emotional or is it just physical? Well, okay, you want to stand up? Why don't we stand up for this class and see how much emotional pain you guys are in? Physical pain, and then does physical pain, can physical pain make you emotional?
Yeah.
What if you find out that your loved one was shot?
Oh, that's emotional.
That's emotional, right? Their physical pain makes you emotional, right? So how can you turn that into money? Well, you know what? I would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to put my kid in a private school because I don't want to ever have to deal with the pain of hearing that my daughter was shot at school. Safety. You understand? This is money. This is how people take your money out of your pocket. Now, you can either learn how to do this and be a predator, or you can be preyed on for the rest of your life. This is very simple. It's very, very simple. So, the problem in our communities is that our kids are being preyed on by rappers and athletes. In our communities, we think that our value is in our ability to do what to each other? To inflict pain on each other. Right? Pookie and Shug and Mug and rappers and athletes, I'm about to take your shit. Right? I'm about to rob you. Rap music. Kendrick Lamar and Drake going at each other. They're hurting each other emotionally.
Wow.
What we don't know is that the people behind the scenes that are making billions are doing the exact opposite. And they're not telling our kids. They're manipulating all of us. You understand why you understand why you're here?
Yeah.
You understand what they do? They know that the only way that you would learn this is if you went and became a salesperson and were relentless like me and trying to figure out why Puffy, these guys make you so much money, I don't understand this. And then to find out that when Puffy and them go out to the Hamptons, they secretly look up to these tech billionaires that I told you about, but they're not going to tell you guys. Because they want you guys to look up to them and think that they're the billionaires. Puffy and them are not billionaires. All right, let's just put it. They're not billionaires. They don't have the valuations to do it. Billionaires don't beat up their girlfriend in the lobby.
Oh, wow.
All right, billionaires have too much to lose to be stupid enough to beat up your girlfriend in a lobby. You ever hear Bill Gates beating up his girlfriend in a lobby? They're lying to you because they know that nobody's going to tell you this. So this is the basis of everything. Your job now, for the rest of your life, is to walk around and put value on everything. Everything. This is what you need to ask yourself. If this is what value is, right? What is your value? As a human being, how much pain are you curing for the world And why would people give you millions of dollars? That everybody, who in here wants millions and billions of dollars? Okay, why? Okay, what pain are you curing for the world? What pain are you curing for the world? Tell me, you. What pain are you curing for the world? How much pain do you cure for the world? What value do you add to society where the world we can be like, what's your name? I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm trying to ask you this because if you don't know what this is, you need to figure it out now. Because if you figure it out now and start working at it, you're going to go through trial and error, but you'll get there. The people that are doing this, they've been thinking like this since they were 7. You know why? Because their parents told them this at the dinner table.
So you're saying people like Nicki Minaj do all this.
They all know this.
They all know.
They all know this. They all know this. They just know that you don't know, so they can manipulate you. They know that the biggest entertainment for you is watching them inflict pain on each other. Because that's what poor people do. What happens if you put a pack of wolves in a room and don't feed them for a week? What are they going to do? They're going to turn on each other. So Nicki Minaj and these rappers know that essentially, do you know that 90% of the world's wealth is controlled by literally like 2% of the world's people? And the rest of us are fighting each other for what's left over. That's a fact. I'm trying to upset you now by telling you the truth.
Wow.
That's a fact, white or black. All of us are fighting for what's left over. Now, these rich people have to keep this away from you so that you continue to kill each other and fight each other so that they can just siphon money out of your pocket, showing you things that you think are going to add value and cure your pain. But really, they're not going to cure your pain. Right? Your job is to see what people value in life. Watch them. While they're running around, yo, Shakima, yo, while they're running around acting like psychos, you're sitting back watching them. And you're like, you're in pain about this, you're in pain about that, you're in pain about that. And then you make a product to cure that pain. And if you do that, and if you can convince people that your product, because you see, you know what my problem is? I'll tell you my problem is, I'm filming this. My problem is that what do black men have a reputation of doing? Of inflicting pain on each other in the street. That's why the police we're animals, right? Black men are animals. You have to lock him up. He's going to take value from us. That's the reputation of black men in the street. So when I walk into a school telling them that I can, they're not going to believe me. They're going to be like, who are you? No, I'm Dentel. I'm an engineer. I'm like, I don't care who you are, Blackie. You don't have anything, all right? So nobody believes me. People think that's just the reality. So even if you start now, and even if you were to invent a diamond, your reputation is that you're black. You don't add value to society. You're a criminal. You take value from society. And we have to hire more police to keep you from stealing all the good white folk stuff that live in the wealthy neighborhoods that know how to do this. So we have to change this dynamic. You understand?
Yeah.
And guess what your advantage is? Guess what your advantage is? The good news is. The good news is that those wealthy people that live up in those wealthy neighborhoods, they've been so comfortable for so long, they don't even know what pain is anymore. They're waiting for you to discover pain relief and bring it to them so they can invest in you. They don't know what pain is. They don't experience it. They have too much money. That's what America is. America is a big fishbowl, $14 trillion worth of pain relief. That's why everybody wants to come here. My parents said that when they got to America, they were stunned because they were like, if they went into the store and said, we need a butt scratcher, back scratcher, whatever, the people would be like, oh yeah, that's on aisle 13. Anything that you could think of that would cure your pain was already in America. They don't have that in America. They don't have, right? We have so much pain relief in America, we've turned our brains off. We don't have to. We're waiting for somebody else to invent pain relief for us. So I was told not to run my mouth too much, which obviously I have a problem with.
How do you understand?
Yeah.
If you invent something, how do you get to the money people to invest in
That's
you to
great.
buy?
You have to then present yourself in a way that they believe that you know that people are going to buy into you. You ever see on the Shark Tank when they say, "I like the product, I just don't like you." So you have to. So how do people calculate the value in a human being? I'll give you $100 if you answer this question. How do people calculate value in a human being? It begins with a B. I'll give you $200 if you answer this question.
The real?
Answer what? Yeah, $200. I don't want to take that bet with you because you'll win. I know. They calculate your value as a human being based on your behavior.
How do you ask?
No, you weren't.
I was-
Don't believe you.
I was thinking about
You should have said it. You'd have had it for two bills. All right. And what does behavior mean? Meaning the way you talk, the way you act, the way you dress, who you associate yourself with.
Yeah.
All of these things are called behavior. So they're not going to look at you. They're going to look at your story. They want to know where you come from. They're going to go into you. They're going to want to know, where'd you go to school? What did you do? Did you play sports? All right. Which brings me back to you and your question about Michael Jordan, right? We talked about, right? So why do the Michael Jordan sneakers sell and LeBron James sneakers don't sell? Why?
Because Michael Jordan is more popular than LeBron James.
Why?
Because he's double athlete. He's out there. He's selling himself.
Relative to this, what does Michael Jordan do that LeBron James doesn't do?
He saw all they think.
He sells all the pain, all the questions, and
Mike, that's almost. Michael Jordan is immune to pain.
What?
What?
Michael Jordan remember when Michael Jordan had the flu and the other team poisoned him with pizza and he still came out there and won the game and dropped 30 on them?
Yeah.
Has LeBron James ever done anything like that?
No.
That's what you have to be. You have to be like, I don't care if they hit me with a brick and break my legs, I'm still gonna continue. Some other people are like, no, I couldn't get to school because I stepped on an ant and I had to go home, I had to go to sleep. I'm not investing in you. Michael Jordan is poisoned with food poison that day, and he comes to the game and drops 40 on them. That's why his sneakers sell, because he's trustworthy. He's not going to fold.
His clothing line as well.
His sneakers are going to sell from now until the end of time. He is literally our modern day Hercules because he is impervious to pain. Everybody else is going to start crying. They're going to flop. You foul them, they're going to flop. The Detroit Pistons tried to kill Michael Jordan. All right? He still won.
He did.
Yeah.
Detroit Pistons tried to kill him. They beat him up in the paint. Did he still won? That's what you have to do. That's what they want to know. They want to know, can you take the pain or are you going to succumb to it? Because I'm not investing in anybody who's too weak to see this through to the end. Can you take everybody calling you psycho and crazy and everybody leaving you and you being alone for years? Can you still take all that and still do it?
Yeah.
Because if you can't even get to class on time, and if you can't graduate on time, then you damn sure can't run my company. That's what I'm not saying that to you, brother. I'm just saying that this is what they're going to say. All right. So in the ghetto, or not, and I'm not saying the ghetto is a black neighborhood. The ghetto is anywhere, black, white, or whatever. So what do we worship in the ghetto? We worship violence, MMA, hockey, rugby, people inflicting pain on each other. Right? If we want to be wealthy, we've got to do the exact opposite. It's a totally different mindset. The people that are walking around watching you, trying to figure out a way to make your life better, they don't have time to fight. They don't have time to inflict pain on you. They don't have time for none of that. They're too busy trying to figure out how to cure your pain so that you can give them your money. And you know what people do when they buy your pain relief and they give you their money? You know what they say? They say, thank you. When you should be thanking them, they say, thank you. All right? The question is, do you think you're tough enough to do this? Because you can't do. I'm going to say one last thing. You are essentially an aspirin for the world. If you want to make money, you have to be an aspirin. You have to cure the world's pain. And that's what financial literacy is. It all stems from this. This is a chemical reaction that makes money. A social chemical reaction that creates money. See, our lip gloss, you got to make sure lip gloss is popping, right? That costs money. And her nails, she's coordinated, right? That costs money. That's not cheap. That is not cheap. All right, look, she's coordinated. That costs money. How much are those nails? $40 to get your nails done like that, right? $40 more. $80 to get your nails done? Why did you pay $80 for that? Tell me why, how it makes you feel relative to this. Emotional. Emotional, right? So nobody can tell you you're not gorgeous because your nails is telling you otherwise.
It's a feeling of like glamour.
It's like jewelry on your fingertips.
Exactly.
There you go.
It's just luxury.
Luxury, right? Who doesn't want that? Exactly. All those things, right? It's valuable. You ever go to the supermarket, you see FMV, fair market value? All right? So you need to start paying attention to these things now. Do you think this was worth your time, folks? But seriously, I know you don't think it's worth your time. What do you think? Scale of 1 to 10. Seriously. Be honest. Tell me a scale of 1 to 10. If you think it's a 2, tell me 2. You can be completely frank with me. All right. Next, ma'am, what is your name?
Fine.
Yeah. Tina? On a scale of 1 to 10, how valuable do you think this was? And be completely honest.
I think this was a good 5.
A 5?
Yeah, because, you're explaining wealth and, how to make the money.
Okay.
And if you want to make the money, you got to go out there and put yourself out there, sell yourself, basically.
Sell yourself, but you're selling yourself and a product in a package deal.
Yes.
All right. What do you think? Thank you for your. What do you think, brother? Sir, in the back. What do you think? Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, Julian, he's with me.
Oh. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. What did you think, ma'am? Scale of 1 to 10. What did you think about this? That they in the engineering world they call this. I'm an engineer, by the way. In the world of engineering, this is called a matrix. All right. What do you think about it?
It's good that people should know about this, and the wealthy people should stop every waste of money about it. But they are trying, they are doing it. Because people do go through all these emotions, and if you invent something, you gotta get copyright, you gotta present yourself well to investors to invest in your product.
Right. I have a question for you. If you invent something that somebody already is selling, what do you have to do to make sure that they buy your product as opposed to the person who has another product? What do you have to do?
You have to be mild spoken, a go-getter, and you gotta keep going at it better than that person does.
Yep.
In order to sell your product.
Absolutely. I like the credit your jib. You have to
don't
also
stop.
That's right. You have to do something called value add, right? Rid of the term value add. So the value of a car is what?
What?
Is that it saves us some time and energy, right? Of having to walk, right? But how do you add value to the car to make it more expensive? What's the difference between a Toyota and a Rolls Royce? It's got heated seats. It's got air suspension, speakers, radio, right? Bose speakers, heated seats, right?
Add to your cars, whatever equipment you can get in there.
This is called adding value, right? It's fully loaded. So a Toyota is just a basic car. You pay $30,000 for that. But if you want a Lambo or a Rari, that's going to be $300,000. Okay?
Going up in value.
Going up in value. So you should think of everything now in terms of value, but especially what value do you provide society? All right. Now, and so I hope that was helpful. And you, my dear, what do you think? How good or bad was this?
Just like she said, I mean, I wait before 9. First, I learned everything. I said, okay, I like to make money, so okay.
So you give it a 4. She gave me a 4. My feelings are a little hurt.
I give you a 9.
You give me a 9. You're my best friend, you're my bestie. All right. So let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen, would you listen to the audiobook about this? So can I share the audiobook with you folks? All right. So there's an audiobook that goes along with this that you're going to get for free. All right. Can you do me a favor and just send me an email right now, and so that when I get home I can send you guys. There's a thing called WeTransfer, right? And it's a service that, because the file is really big. It's about 4-hour audiobook. My whole autobiography of how I discovered all this, right? And how you can put all this together and make a money machine, right? Because the file is so large, it would take me tons of time and energy to email it to you regularly, right? Because it's such a big file. It would take 3 days for me to email it to you if I just sent it via email. But because of this WeTransfer service, it'll take 3 seconds. All right. So if you folks send me your email right now, when I get home, I'll send you the book. It's called The Formula, and you just listen to it. And I'll also send you the ebook. So if you have like a computer at home, you can put the ebook up, right? And then you can listen to the audiobook, me reading it to you. So you can have the audiobook, and that's the best way to listen to it. Have the ebook up on your computer, and then have me literally be reading it to you like a bedtime story. Okay? So can you folks email me right now? I'll give you my email. No? And I really thank you folks for coming down.